Hi everyone, welcome to Clutch Entertainment today, and today we're going to be talking about a life moments common fears tier list. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, so we're going to go through some of the absolute fears that we all have, and some life moments and fears that actually scare everyone. So let's go ahead and go through the list here, and we'll start off here now. So first off, we're ranking these tiers in S tier, meaning absolute nightmare. This is terrible. I can't do this anymore. Like, this is something that I definitely can't, like, barely handle. We're doing highly stressed and bad anxiety. So, like, you're just really, really in a high pressure situation. You have bad anxiety, and it's going to be really difficult to get through. That's the A tier. Moderately stressful is B. This is something that's kind of like close to average. It's pretty stressful, but it's not like terrible, like absolute nightmare level or anything like that. C tier would be relative fears or nerves, like a lot of times common fears that we do have. And D would be minor panic or low stress, or kind of funny sometimes, depending on what our situations are. So let's get right into each one ranked in order. So first off, we're going to start off with our first day ranked of work. Like, if you start off on the first day for work, I would say this one would probably fall into the moderately stressful, because although it's kind of like one of those situations where it's kind of like you may be highly stressed, or you may be in a situation where you want to, feel like, oh my gosh, I'm getting started with a new thing. It's probably something that's not, the worst or not the best. So I would say it's probably like a moderately stressful. Next thing I would say is a natural disaster. I would say this one would probably fall into the. I've never experienced like a natural disaster myself, like where it was just like really, really bad. I mean, the closest I've has been is like in a tornado or something like that. So I guess it would be under highly stressed, bad anxiety, depending on how much damage there is. So I would just put it in the A tier. Putting it in A tier is probably a good mix of both S and B. So like depending on how bad a situation is. So the next thing I would say is probably this is losing your wallet or keys. I would say this is under minor panic. This is something that's more of like, I mean, I lose my wallet, lose my keys. I mean, it's not the worst thing. It's just an inconvenience. Oh, maybe I'll be a few minutes late. So it's not like super panicky. It's not super bad. So yeah, I would say it's in the D tier. Next we have forgetting a name. I would probably put this in the C tier, relatable fears, nerves, because like sometimes you come up to people, you're like, oh, what's their name? What's their name? But it's not like you're dying over it. Like it's really bad. It's something that's kind of like, I wish I knew their name, but do I need to know it exactly, or am I in trouble? So I really wouldn't worry about that personally. So the next thing I would say is probably meeting your girlfriend or boyfriend's parents. I would put that in A tier, personally, just because you're meeting somebody like your girlfriend or your boyfriend's parents, like, or even your fiance, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I remember for me personally, I was pretty highly stressed when I met my wife's parents when we were dating. And it's a very nerve-wracking situation, because you're just like, I really want to impress their family. I really want to impress their father or mother. So I would put that in the A tier. I wouldn't say it's an absolute nightmare, because it's not something you can't recover from. But I would definitely put that in the A tier. So next, not enough money, or not enough money, like if you're like poor or becoming broke. I would say moderately stressful. There's a lot of times where we feel a situation where we need money, we need something. It falls between B or C. I think I'm going to keep it at B, because if we're in trouble and we don't have money, we usually ask for money or ask for help, and a lot of times we can get help in some way, shape, or form. So I would put that under the moderately stressful situation, just because it'd be something that you can probably recover from, or you can work to get money back. So that's what I would say. Fear of getting fired. I would say that would be moderately stressful also. That's one of those things where it's kind of like, I don't want to be fired, but if you get fired, it's going to happen. I would say it's probably a worse tier when you actually get fired. Getting fired is probably a worse stress feeling, something you feel a lot worse about. So I would say for the most part, getting fired in general or fear of getting fired would probably be under B tier. Failing a test, for me personally, failing a test or exam really didn't bother me much. A lot of people would probably put it under the B tier at least. But for me, I would say it's just a relatable fear or nerve. It's like one of those things where it's like, if I fail, I fail. Some people who are perfectionists, I would say it would probably be under the A tier at least, or B tier, or I don't know. Some people might fall under S tier for absolute nightmare. But yeah, I would say it's under a C tier for me personally. The next one is being rejected for something. I would probably say being rejected is very stressful. I would put it under the A tier because you don't want to, like, say you have this huge job you want to get to and a huge like promotion you want to get, and you're afraid of like getting rejected. Like it tends to withdraw you, pull you back. Yeah, so I would say it would be under the A tier. Just because like you don't want to be rejected, you don't want to be in a situation where it's like, oh my gosh, like it's just really scary. So I would say being rejected in general is highly stressful. The next one I would say is driving alone for the first time. I would put that under C tier. That's something that's kind of like, I don't really think that I would ever, like I remember when I first drove, like it wasn't too bad for me. Like it was like, wow, I'm alone, but it's kind of like, you figure it out over time. So I would say it's kind of like relatable. It's kind of like one of those things where it's kind of like, it's probably not too bad. The next thing I would say is probably public speaking. For me personally, I would say it's under C tier. I'm not really afraid of public speaking. A lot of people would probably put it up in A or B. Just for the sake of our audience here, let's just put it in the B tier. Just because some people are really afraid of public speaking and some people are not. So for me personally, I would probably put it C. But for this situation, just for the audience, I'll probably put it at B for moderately stressful. So the next one I would say is going to the dentist. I would say this is probably a really stressful one. A lot of times I'm not really worried about going to the dentist so much. It's more so of like the feeling of that drilling in the office, like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Like I don't want that in my mouth drilling on my teeth because it can really hurt a lot. And I don't know. I just never have liked the dentist. But I would say it's under the A tier. Like you can be highly stressed and have some bad anxiety from it. I would say the next thing is like being pulled over. I would put that in the A tier also. I never want to be pulled over. And if I get pulled over or anything like that, it's a really scary situation. I don't want to deal with that. So, yeah, I would say like that would be A tier also. That would be something that like I want to stay away from. I don't want to even be near. I don't even want to get close to that. So yeah, I would say that's probably A tier. So going to the doctor, I would say that's probably a B. Sometimes it could probably be an A or an S if it's like something you're worried about, or it could be a C if it's just like a regular checkup. But I would say let's keep it in the middle just for the sake of, you're just going to the doctor, getting a checkup. Maybe you have a sickness or illness. Maybe you're getting better. Yeah, I would put that there. Moving to a new town or city, I would probably say this is under the, I would say this is probably an A tier, depending on if you don't like to, move around places and stuff like that. So I would put that under A tier. That's something that would be pretty stressful, like when you move anywhere, just because you're getting to know a new place, a new town, something that you haven't been to before. I would say it's probably not a good place to really like want to go if you're like not sure about it. But if it's something like it's just something new or something exciting, maybe it's like a regular common fear, but I would say I would be highly stressed if I'm moving to any new place or situation. So next one is cats and dogs. I mean, I used to be afraid of cats and dogs especially. I would put this down in D tier just because nobody's really, a lot of people in the world are not super afraid of them, but if it's like a mean cat or dog, yeah, I would put this under D tier. Probably cats and dogs aren't too bad. Um, so that makes sense. All right, and the next one would probably be fear of being rejected on a date. Now, this is my really hot take. Um, I would not want to be rejected at all. I would put this as an absolute nightmare. Like being rejected by a woman. I remember being really highly stressed when I was trying to date anyone. I wouldn't. I hated that situation. Like I always was really afraid of like going up to a girl and like trying to talk to her and being afraid of being rejected. But like I overcame the fear. Like I made myself do it. But I would say that's an absolute nightmare. You know, like being worried like what the girl's gonna think of you if you go up to her and ask her out. What the girl's gonna think if you do this or that. Like I don't know. Like what you're gonna say, what you're gonna do. I would put that under S tier. Like that's my controversial take, but going up to a girl and talking to her and being afraid, yeah, I would probably say that's an absolute nightmare. I would not want to be in that situation. So next we have performances. I would say being in a performance is probably the A tier. I would be highly stressed and have really bad anxiety if I'm doing a performance in any way. I think I could overcome it personally, but I think I would put it in the A tier personally, just because like I mean, it's something that's kind of like, yeah, you're going to be looked at by a whole bunch of people and you don't want to mess up. So I would put that in the A tier of being highly stressed and having like possibly bad anxiety about it. And then next is being lost. I would put this in C tier. Nobody wants to be lost. No one wants to be in a situation where they're, you know, being in a far away from somewhere and not sure where to go. So I would put that in the C tier. It's something that I would probably say that it's not terrible to be lost, because usually for me personally, I can find out where I'm going. I can pretty much figure that out. Some people may not figure it out. Some people might be like, oh no, I might be an A or something like that for that. I would say that's probably something that's a C tier. Next we have a date going wrong or going awkward. I would say that's an absolute nightmare also along so of being fear of like being rejected with a woman too or a man, depending if you're male or female. Just those situations I feel like are like the highest situations. Being rejected by another human being that like you have a potential to be with. Yeah, I definitely would say like that's probably in the S tier also. It's something that I wouldn't want to be around or something like that. So next we have fear of heights. I would say it's a C tier. I mean, I used to be really afraid of it, probably B or A, being up high, but after I moved into my own house and I went on the roof and confronted that fear, I would say it's not too bad anymore. It's not like it used to be. Next, we have fear of being in the dark. That's another one where growing up, I was really afraid. I would say it's probably D tier. It's like, it's one of those things that's not super stressful unless like someone's breaking in your house or something like that. It's one of those that's probably like as a kid, it's probably like A tier or something like that. But I would say it's D tier in this situation. Next, we have a confrontation or argument. I would say could be very highly stressful. It's one of those things where it's like, I really don't want to confront somebody because they might get really angry or upset with me. I would say it's in the A tier. I don't like confrontations myself, but when I have to do it, I have to do it, you know. You don't ever want to have to solve a situation that way, but sometimes you do. Next, we have fear of injections. I would put that in a moderately or highly stressed, but I'll just do moderately for the sake of this, because most people are probably in the middle. Some people don't like injections, some people do. I would say like getting a vaccine or a doctor or blood work or something like that. Some people have passed out, like myself. I pass out when I get injections. Like for whatever reason. I don't understand. I've only done it pass out once, but I'm just saying, like, I get like that clammy cold feeling like I'm gonna pass out, so I don't really want that. So I would probably say that's B tier. Fear of drowning, I would probably say that's a C tier. If you can't swim or something like that, I could see that being a C tier. Uh, being a fear of storms, I would say for most people, I would put this in the C tier. It's something relatable and you might be nervous about, especially if it's a severe storm. Um, but if you have a natural disaster, I would say it's like an A, like I was saying before. Being claustrophobic, I would say this is something in the moderately stressful because you're afraid of not being able to get out of that situation. It's not something you want to be in, so it's kind of like it's kind of stressful. So I have about three more here. Let's see. Spiders. I would say spiders would be like a relatable fear. Um, I would say they're not like the worst fear, but like I could kill a spider on the spot. That doesn't bother me. But if I'm going to sleep and I see a spider go under the bed, no way I'm going to sleep until I kill that spider. Um, I've had a situation like that in the past myself, so I wouldn't want to deal with that. And then we have fear of like fire or like some kind of like really bad disaster. I would say this is probably a nightmare. Like if you're in a fire situation or like something like that, I'd say it's really scary, especially if the fire alarms are going off, like the fire department showing up at your house, EMS ambulance is coming here. I think that would be like an absolute nightmare. I think that would be terrible. I've never experienced that, but I think that would be on that same level as, possibly a natural disaster on A, but we're going to put this in S tier. And then fear of snakes. I would say this is something moderately stressful. It's not something that every day you're going to be stressed about this because we don't really see snakes all the time unless you're living in like a jungle or a forest or like near creeks or something like that. So I would say it's probably like moderately stressful. Like if you can avoid snakes, you can be away from them. I would mostly be afraid of snakes if they're like really venomous, just like the spiders, I would say. But overall, so this is my tier list here. I don't know if any of you agree with it or not. If you have any agreement or disagreement with this, just leave a comment in the comment section below, and be sure to like and subscribe today. Hopefully these life moment and common fears tier list got your opinions going, and just let me know what you think. Thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment today, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.